we could start going in towards the Kaja. This is, again, a little more particular towards Fangor's side and as well as the Joy.
Yep, we do so right now what I'm seeing are that the bans are pretty default from both these teams. They're still testing the waters, they're still figuring things out. I personally feel the drafting phase is going to be a little bit more important for Umbrella Squad as a whole, because I feel like this is a team that does depend on having winning lane matchups. And LILGUN has shown to be very flexible in terms of their hero pool in the past. So a lot of pressure on the EECA team, but they've definitely shown moments of brilliance.
Well, I don't know. Looking at you know, the coaching staff, in this case Defender, previously playing on Deuce Vault, then having to leave and join the Umbrella Squad to make sure that he could try and qualify for a spot in M5 itself, he's taken a back step, and I think that seniority definitely helps out the team, keeping them mature, but also making sure that they're on pace for something that is good for them. And in this case, lane advantage, trying to be secured, goes over to Bruno from the Umbrella Squad.
We're seeing it as a great weapon here. Good early, mid, and late game technically, especially with the right kind of support though. So for Umbrella Squad, that's a great option. Now for LILGUN, the first two picks will really define the the form of their composition here, because unlike the first pick, you can't really hide it when you're shown two options, unless they go heavily into those flex picks, which is a advantage, but at the same time, it kind of forces them into some picks if they want to do so, but no, they go for the Valentina and a Terizla, a very teamfight heavy approach already.
Okay, respectful here from LILGUN. Now, I have to note that out of a lot of heroes, the most obvious pocket pick for LILGUN is Faramis. It is very often banned out when teams are playing against them because Ethan plays a very mean Faramis roam. But the fact that Valentina is still open means that it's too risky to allow the Nether Realm to potentially get stolen away. Instead, they'll grab it for themselves to deny Troublemaker, a hero he's comfortable with.
And does LILGUN like to do this on blue side more often than red side, or is it just this particular match? Because I think that opening up, especially on red side with the Valentina, is such a good power pick, because then you have the flexibility even if the Faramis gets let through or it doesn't get touched at all. But Umbrella Squad, they lock in the Arlet as well as the Guinevere. Final lock-in for the first phase from LILGUN is going to be Martis.
Was looking quite good right there. Arlet, Guinevere, and Bruno, good early game. But now with the Martis in the mix, it's just not that simple any longer. And on that point on the Valentina too, it's good wave clear and early game damage. So if they both go for skirmishes right here, there's a chance that LILGUN can actually get the better of Umbrella Squad, depending on how the fight plays out, who makes the first move, and whether or not they can get a lot of damage onto one person, because that one reset on the decimate of the Martis can just change things around very fast.
I think that's definitely true. I think that LILGUN has a more like teamfight-oriented composition for now. We don't know how they're going to complete it compared to someone like Umbrella Squad, but I think at the very least we know that they kind of want to play that early game for a certain degree, especially towards the EXP side, right? Because again, it is a strong pick in the EXP. I'm guessing that they're going to start banning things out from EXPs, the counter picks, more often than not.
Yeah, I think that does make sense overall. The ban on the Diggy is somewhat telling, though. It instantly tells you that LILGUN does want to play around this team fighting. They want to use the penalty zone. They don't want to give Umbrella Squad an easy way to walk in and out of fights. So that needs to be a concern here, especially with the Fanny gone as well. LILGUN is already showing that their gameplay gonna be leaning towards the aggressive side.
Okay. Aggressive side for the side of LILGUN. For Umbrella Squad, right? Double flex pick coming in early on. They ban out the Kufra. Are they also going to just double down and say, hey, maybe let's not try and open up the jungle. Maybe let's just get rid of just high impact, high setter roamers. Atlas, again, has been a very, very good pick until Diggy came about.
Exactly, so I think it's a bit of a mind game as well, because the Guinevere is still a very good flex pick. It can go to different areas as well. So we'll have to see, man, with the next ban. Are they going to try and maybe trick LILGUN a bit, or are they going to go for the straightforward approach?
It might not be as straightforward as we see. Did you know that Ethan has a 100% win rate as a Franco in 3 games in their qualifier? Because right now, I'm feeling like if they don't want to go for a setter, at least you can pick them apart. And I think that LILGUN, especially the fact that they're taking away some good anti-CC in terms of the Martis and having a thick brick in a Terizla, this might be the way to go.
Yeah, I think it's not a bad idea here. Like, I was definitely leaning towards the Angela somewhat, because it's not often the hero gets let through this far, and you combine it with the Martis, with the Terizla, it's already hard to deal with. So respect to Umbrella Squad for spotting that, but the Franco is still open. It is an obvious counter to the Martis. Does LILGUN want to deny it? Answer is no.
I think for LILGUN, they're just waiting, just hiding their picks first, and getting a gold laner here that is quite secure and has some output potential against all these dashes coming in from Umbrella Squad. It's definitely a great option, and he can secure kills afterwards, after the Martyrs has done all the heavy lifting in a big team fight. So that is the approach they're going with, just hiding their final pick here. So for Umbrella Squad, that's the question, especially in the mid lane against the Valentina. What do they want to take? What will they possibly, potentially give away in the IMU response from the Valentina?
I don't know whether Gord is actually relevant, but no. Instead, wait. It might not be a mid lane. It could just go straight into the jungle. I could be wrong about that.
I
No,
think it's mid lane.
It's mid, straight up mid Gushin. This will be very interesting. It's not, again, it's not like Gushin has an ultimate that's super abusable by Valentina. You don't barely get any value out of it half the time, and being able to one-shot your targets, because what Brody is great at, kiting away from people who dive at him.
Yeah, the thing is about Umbrella Squad is that comparatively, LILGUN is a team that's well coordinated, often will team fight together, rotates around very cleanly, whereas Umbrella Squad has a tendency to want to go for hero plays. Specifically, Marl, Troublemaker like to go in front and get kills, not even when their team isn't close enough behind them.
Ooh.
So a hero like Gushin is quite a thing, but with the Nether Realm now, that's gonna make it hard.
Now, two outcomes I'm expecting. Either Netherrealm, it gets popped, Gushin says no, blows up everybody's Netherrealm extra temp HP, and then starts the fight immediately after. Or nothing happens, you die instantly as you take the sword spike, and nothing gets done.
I think the big concern right here is the fact that there is a Guinevere and a Minotaur, so there's a lot of crowd control available when everyone's crowding together to get some value out of the Netherrealm. But that level 4 power spike is going to be absolutely disgusting from the side of LILGUN, man. I think Umbrella Squad needs to try and go really hard pre-level 4, or wait it out and make sure that they have ways to really fight back, get some damage in the hands of the Bruno before they want to engage in a big scale team fight.
It's gonna be difficult to do, but we'll find out if they can achieve it. We enter the Land of Dawn for our final series of the day. It's going to be Team LILGUN versus Umbrella Squad. Will they be able to shield against the rain of bullets coming their way?
Umbrella Squad going to be playing on the blue side with LILGUN on red side. Let's see how this game actually turns out. As you mentioned, Arashi, we're hoping that Umbrella Squad is able to go really, really hard in the first couple of minutes in the game. But I actually think that level 4 coming in from Umbrella Squad might just be a wee bit better.
Oh, just a wee bit?
Just a wee bit. Not entirely, but there's definitely some like natural synergies, especially, let's not forget, the fact that you can, technically Castle can dash multiple times as long as CC is being applied. Marl has CC, Vanguard has CC, both of which are great enablers for him.
Well, I think that's the concern right here. That of course, there's synergy there, but is that enough damage to go through a Netherrealm, especially early on? And if you focus on the Netherrealm, on popping it, who is it towards?
The two-man Petrify Forbidden, Ethan dropping low Forbid with the flicker, but Marl picks up the first blood, doesn't allow him to get out of there.
You have to admit, that was kind of sick, though. You're like, wait, he's kind of trolling. He's using his Petrify for no reason. Spatial migration.
It's so good, man. It's almost like a mini fadeaway from Marl. And with that, he's going to get a level 4 advantage. So now the turtle fight, now you're going to see how is it going to go? Is Umbrella Squad going to try and push the tempo even more? Because if you look at the emblems right here, Team LILGUN, they understand that they have to maneuver around a lot of crowd control. 3 people going in for the agility, and for Ethan with the Winner's Blessing as well.
Jumps in, Spatial Migration, gonna get the combo onto Forbid, but not enough damage to finish off. And here comes Xora, he uses the referee, doesn't get the kill on Vanguard. That's gonna go over to Aizen, but he's dropping real low. Gonna force Marl to actually jump out of there. Penalty zone wasted. Here comes Castle, so flickers in, gets the stun, but again, not enough damage, no level 4. He can't do anything with this. Ethan, he could punish, but he himself, not level 4 yet. Still gonna chase him to the ends of the earth though. Ooh, Troublemaker! He finds Xora, steals the purple, and gets out like a maniac.
You weren't lying when you said the Troublemaker wanted to be up front. This man hits level 4 and is like, you know what? Give me everything.
The awareness to go for the jungle right there too, man, with Team LILGUN just over-chasing, but now they're going for a fight again.
Yeah, that's going to be Violet Requiem on the ice, and beautiful combo, not allowing the Turisla to do anything. Marl secures the turtle.
They are looking clean. I mean, the layering of the CC so far, the overall game sense coming in from Umbrella Squad. Our predictions might just be, it might be wrong this time around.
Might be a bit different, but Team LILGUN, they're just fighting in different areas at the same time. Never really going for a decisive 5v5. So I think once that happens, there's a better potential. But for now, it's Umbrella Squad all the way, just making the solo plays happen and pulling Team LILGUN away from each other.
The real question is how long is this laning phase actually going to last? Some people like to actually...
Oh, Sexora nearly dead, but NetherRealm saves him, keeps him alive for now. They get the pick off onto Troublemaker in exchange for the Martis. Vanguard gonna get picked off. That's gonna go to a double kill as Bebex finally punishes Umbrella Squad.
So speaking about lanes, I was about to say that at least for Castle, he doesn't really get too much, but Marl has 2 kills. But this time, Bebex actually coming out huge with those 2 kills and a EXP lead currently onto Black Marsh. This is only going to get worse.
I mean, you pick the Bruno in order to get a dominant laning phase. With the Brody picking up 2 kills right there, it might just swing the whole lane in a different way for Team LILGUN, and that is what they need if they want to have this roam situation here. The winning laners can really set up for a perfect dive under the turrets.
So far, so good. Troublemaker making sure that he's not giving any shutdowns here or another kill over to Team LILGUN. He did just complete his Genius one, so expect him to do some work.
Marl, he's got his eyes on Ethan here. They're trying to gank the gold lane. That's going to be a lot of tower gold taken by Black March there. Umbrella Squad going to make the wise choice to not dive too deep.
I think that's the big problem right here for Umbrella Squad. I feel like they were trying to push the tempo and go for dives, but with the NetherRealm just lurking around the corner, it's so difficult, especially because it's in the hands of the roamer and not the mid laner. He can just stay in the back, and Umbrella Squad don't really know exactly where he is. He can just wait for the right moment, and if Umbrella Squad overcommit, that could be the end for them, as now we're looking at another huge team fight, maybe 4v4 without the gold laners.
It's gonna be scary here. Hilm, LILGUN gonna be the ones in position. Castle gonna be holding on to that final slash, waiting for the best combination timing with the Minuan Fury. Gets it, goes for it, pushes Xora out of position. Eyes in penalty zone misses. NetherRealm comes out. Turtle dropping 40%. The 2-man fatal migration. Xora is picked up. Turtle is secured by Marl. Double kill for Troublemaker and a killing spree for Umbrella Squad to top it all off.
So, like, is that, like, enough damage, or are we talking a little less there?
I mean, I feel like the damage is definitely there, especially if they're all stacking together, man. Multiple people hit by the spatial migration, setting up for a huge Minuan Fury, and then this Troublemaker just blasting everyone out.
Yeah, honestly, it's pretty surprising that Troublemaker is actually getting away with a lot of this. I think that Umbrella Squad, especially in terms of like the adaptation in the earlier stages, is like, let's play off the people who actually have a lead. And if we need to use Castle to just maybe sacrifice a little bit of EXP, maybe his body, just get the final slash down and start something against LILGUN, get them to commit.
Troublemaker though, he's looking for the chance. He spots Bebex, the flicker. Will it save him? Corrosive Strike is a torn apart memory. They trade for each other, but Bebex gets the shutdown, and now Xora is on a decimate streak. Picks off the cow, chasing down Black March. Castle looking to get the defense here. Flickers in, stuns up LILGUN to make sure that the goal lane no longer threatened, but it's Castle himself who's in danger. He's regenning a lot, but he's gonna eventually fall. Penalty zone finds Black March over the wall. NetherRealm allowing LILGUN to continue the pursuit, and Marl will be able to keep his gold laner safe at least.
That's a chaotic fight from both teams. And for LILGUN, see, when they use the NetherRealm reactively properly, they do come out ahead. In the turtle fight earlier, they're forced to use it a bit early, but look at his play! Troublemaker!
He finds the Violet Requiem. Somehow Troublemaker actually getting a 1v1 kill onto Forbid. In the meantime, though, bot lane Marl dropping real low. Misses the decimate, and Xora gets picked off as a result.
I don't know. I feel like Team LILGUN right now are miscommunicating. Like earlier when they were trying to go in for those fights, yes, they were using it reactively, but at the same time, the Turisla had already caught... Oh, wait a second. Does he? No, he doesn't, right?
Ooh, I'm waiting for it, but no, he's not gonna dive too deep there. He knows that he's worth a good bit of money right now with his killing spree.
Yeah, and I'm assuming he's calculating the body of the Smith as well. The lower he gets, the tougher he is with that DR. But in the meantime, right, I feel a little bad for Castle. Every single time, I want to be part of the fight. Well, how much EXP do you want to sacrifice?
Well, he starts a fight. Two-man final slash into the Minuan Fury, stolen by Forbid as a defensive play. Even NetherRealm actually used kind of early. This sets up for Maul. Violet Requiem onto Aizen. But here comes Bebex. He's doing some damage, making sure the Umbrella Squad cannot get an easy pick-off.
It's just so dangerous for LILGUN right now because at every single moment, Troublemaker outputs the damage so early. He's baiting a lot of crowd control and even the NetherRealm from Team LILGUN. So they have to be a bit more aggressive almost in order to know exactly when that NetherRealm needs to be used. They cannot allow Umbrella Squad to be the ones to decide when the fight really breaks out.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get to that point just yet. I think that Team LILGUN is going to have to just sacrifice this early as they transition into the mid to late just to get some magic resist, because nobody can technically open up the map reliably because the Troublemaker basically one-shots anybody who checks the bush.
Ooh, they find Black Mars here. He's gonna force the flicker out. Ethan actually not quite able to connect the Shadow Stampede, so the Bruno will survive, but the Tier 1 tower won't.
Seems like right now, LILGUN are like splitting and they're not really sure where to play around when they have Bebex with a 3-kill advantage. But look at Ethan.
Ethan might get swatted out. NetherRealm used quite early again. Minuan Fury finds one. That's going to be NetherRealm used up. But Fangor dropping low. Zexora, can he get the decimate? Yes, he does. That's going to be a dead cow on the side of Umbrella Squad. And now Team LILGUN are looking for more. That's the double kill for Zexora. He spots Castle. He wants it, but he's under the tower. So he should be able to get out. Torn apart memory. Throwing him real low. Just one hit from death. Violet Requiem trying to zone out LILGUN. And Troublemaker goes in! 4-man Petrify! Picks off Bebex, but there's just too much health here. That's a killing spree for Zexora.
Anybody else thinking that maybe Troublemaker should consider getting a fleeting time, because holy, that could have been a savage right there and then had he got some kill resets.
That is a lot of damage, man. I mean, we saw it earlier on the Terizla, but he is able to output it onto multiple people. And I think Team LILGUN, they really gotta start respecting this. I know they wanna stick together for the NetherRealm, but once that's not available, they gotta spread out, man. The last thing they want is to get shredded all together as a team.
They need a loan for gold, because I'm expecting to see Athena shields earlier rather than later. I do see a Radiant Armor already purchased coming in from Zora, but then everybody else in terms... Wait, no, Terizla also has one. Unfortunately, Bebex not there yet.
Yeah, not quite enough for now, but we'll have to see what kind of options Bebex goes for here in order to get some defensive items, but still some damage. On the other flip side, though, for Umbrella Squad, and Twig Cuirass is built in for the Arlot and the Minotaur. They know for sure that the torn apart memory and the Decimate is going to be the main problem for them.
Yeah, and the fact that Troublemaker has 3 completed items already, and they're not cheap items. The cheapest, most economic one was going to be the Genius one, but he's already completed the Holy Crystal and as well as Divine Glaive on top of that.
This is a scary Gushin right here. LILGUN has to watch his positioning as we see Castle engage onto Forbid. Final slash. Is the NetherRealm gonna come out? Yes, it will. Right on time for the Minuan Fury. But Maul in the back line. He's looking for Violet Requiem. Forbid gonna be able to escape. Fangor gonna use his very own Minuan Fury now. Team LILGUN forced on the defensive. Troublemaker looking for the angle. He jumps in. Gets the 3-man damage on the Shadow Blade Slaughter. And they're looking for one more. Zexora not able to escape. Troublemaker with the shutdown and a triple kill.
He's huge. He's too big, man.
It's too much trouble. And Team LILGUN don't want that smoke. Look at that, grazing them. They're doing a lot of damage. There's just so much threat available. And Team LILGUN, they're over-relying on this NetherRealm. It's just not doing enough. They're losing turrets and they're going to lose this Lord.
Oh, they're losing it too quick. Troublemaker has completely outscaled everybody and even has a Lightning Truncheon as well. Like, that wasn't...
Wow.
Like, he didn't have enough damage already. He's going to get extra. I do say that the new Lightning Truncheon, I quite enjoy it. It's a lot better now compared to last time.
And it's a lot more independent. You don't have to build it as a combo, technically. And it gives you movement speed, by the way, so watch out for Troublemaker and his plays yet again once he procs that Lightning Truncheon. With the jungle now taken over by Umbrella Squad, they're just waiting for the Lord. And we'll have to see if they actually set up for a 3-wave push, because they have ways to engage right now that is so dynamic. Between Castle and Marl, there's so many things that Team LILGUN have to pay attention to if they want to avoid just getting completely dominated.
I think the best part about Umbrella Squad is the way that they approach these fights, right? Like, yes, Troublemaker's doing a lot of damage.
Troublemaker is insane! Flies in, taunts LILGUN, gets out scot-free, and Final Slash gonna push Aizen out of position. Uses the penalty zone to get out to safety. Even the NetherRealm being used. very early here by Team LILGUN.
All right, time for that second wave. You know what's gonna happen here. Umbrella Squad, do the dive. Do the dive. Let's see if they're gonna go for it.
Oh, here comes Castle Flickers and Final Slash finds Tree. Bebex is gone. Forbid is gone. That's a mega double kill for Troublemaker once again. The trouble continues for Team LILGUN. Crystal is open. Midwin Fury stops them in there. Troublemaker is getting more. Triple kill for the Guchan. Maniac!
Give it to him!
Give it to him!
Can he get eaten? The Crystal's wide open. He's looking for it. He jumps in. Final Slash. Can he get more of it? No! But they kept the game, so that is worth it anyway.
Oh my god, I literally look back and he's just like, dude, I didn't mean to take it. And Troublemaker's looking over at Maul like, bruh, my savage, that was a great game coming in from the Umbrella Squad.
We haven't seen a Gusion in so long, and once we do, what do we witness? Absolute destruction. Troublemaker, man. He is making absolute trouble for the Mongolians against the predictions of everyone.
Yeah, I mean, that was hot stuff. I'm not gonna lie, really, really hot stuff. What about you, Stuffa? What are you thinking about this?
I'm just thinking that I'm living out the caster curse right now. 'Cause I'm not joking. Every prediction has been wrong today. I need to stop talking.
Happens to the best of us, dude.
It really does. It really does. But I think, you know, losing in this particular fashion is going to teach LILGUN at the very least, right? I think they had the right ideas. Yes, they were very reliant specifically on that Nether Realm, but it doesn't mean that they weren't doing good moves across the map. Their drafting already looked really, really nice, and I don't think people would have expected Gusion anyways.
Yeah, they were not prepared for the trouble that Troublemaker would bring to their shores here. This is a team that on paper has been super coordinated, rotates very well, but they were just completely outperformed by a surprise pocket pick here. And this is the value of these kinds of hero picks. You think, oh, this is not meta, it's not going to be a big problem. And then Troublemaker just pops out of nowhere and completely decimates their entire gameplay.
I feel that's a big problem right here for LILGUN at least, because I think they had the right idea. They're trying to predict the movement from Umbrella Squad, but I don't know if it's intentional or not, but sometimes they just go for fights without any setup. And the fact that sometimes they do set up makes it very difficult to try and read out what exactly are they trying to do. And soon we're going to take a look at the MVP, and I don't think anyone is wondering who it's going to be, dude.
Castle shows up. Give it to it. It's Troublemaker coming up from the Umbrella Squad. Absolute nutty game on this Gusion. Now he's shy once he's on camera, literally just flaming his jungler earlier for taking a savage. Troublemaker coming out huge, 13-3-7. You don't get to see this in professional play very often. Not only because this is great KDA, this is Gusion we're talking about. He's been out of the meta for a long time.
And he's an assassin, yet he's a 95% kill participation. He doesn't only one-shot the squishy targets, he was one-shotting the Terizla, and also using the Petrify so dynamically, man. It's not only to try and set up for a combo, sometimes to enable his teammates to try and get the pick off as well. So I think he just really knows this hero in and out, and this is definitely something that LILGUN needs to respect.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's punishable. It's not impossible to get past it, but once you've given him such a snowball, most of the time the snowball kind of slows down towards the later stages. You got a little bit of MR, you got some Athena shields, maybe Radiant armors, and then you're okay, but not this time. They started and ended the game as quickly as they got the snowball.
Yeah, the pressure was so high coming in from the side of Umbrella Squad that it didn't allow Team LILGUN the time needed to start building up more items. They had the Radiant armor, but they really needed Athena's just from how much burst Troublemaker was doing, and they weren't quite able to achieve that because you have to recall, Troublemaker is not the only player they're facing.
Which brings me to my next topic. Thoughts on Castle being a potential roamer, because honestly that's how he was playing the entire game. He would get pushed in half of the time because of Terizla, but once they unlocked him, this man is instigating fights everywhere. He is going to the foundations of houses, drilling holes in them and putting termites for fun just to get the neighbors angry.
I mean, it's just so good, and the fact that they can alternate who actually begins the fight is what makes it so difficult as well. Soon we're going to take a look at some of the highlights right here, and maybe we can take a small look at what exactly they're able to get, brought to you by Grab. In the early game, I mean, Marl already makes a bit of a play, still enabled by Troublemaker. But afterwards, this is initially here, it seems like everything was going so well, but they were chasing, they didn't get the kill, and afterwards they lose tempo and momentum. But then right here, that Netherrealm once again just makes things so difficult for them, and they're able to actually get a bit of a lead. But afterwards, they go for a fight like this, clumped up together, and as we expect, when everything lands in the right moment, it's going to be so difficult for them to get a dominant, decisive moment here. They have to try and make it sporadic like this, picking off the members of Umbrella Squad one by one.
Yeah, but it's also about capitalization, right? We did see in a couple of these moments that the fight actually goes split for LILGUN to having two separate targets when they really need to devote all their damage into priority targets. And I think that's something that LILGUN is probably going to discuss later backstage before we get into Game 2. But as the game continues to move on, we do get to see these huge plays. Like, imagine if he had a fleeting time there and uses the incandescence like twice in that fight, getting so many kills. That would have been so insane. But overall, I think that Umbrella Squad, we were talking about this earlier, they needed advantages in the draft. It just felt that they were the more polished team in terms of just overall chemistry.
And I did mention that as long as they have the better draft, Umbrella Squad will have the better chances here. Yeah, but I didn't realize it would go so one-sidedly, right? The momentum was on their side right from the very beginning, and they didn't allow LILGUN any opportunity to make that comeback. And I love that. I like that pressure. I want more teams to be able to abuse this sort of threat.
Now keep in mind, we're looking at the emblems earlier, there were a couple of interesting ones. Number one, Arla taking a Wilderness Blessing. Kind of interesting. You don't get to see that very often, especially since its last nerf 2 patches ago. Now, at least for Castle, he understands, I am not going to win this lane, I just got to move fast.
He knows it's a 5% nerf to the Wilderness Blessing, but he needs to be around the map because that's how he was playing. Like you mentioned, Gideon, it's not, he wasn't like split pushing and laning 1v1. He just arrives to the fight and enables, right? He just sits there and goes, if you want to take me out, it's fine. I'm gonna be back with a vengeance. Not, well, literally from his second skill, funnily enough. But aside from that, Ethan going with a basic emblem right here, he just wasn't tanky at all. So off the bat already, LILGUN lacking another tanky member. Only the Martyrs technically being a secondary tank, but Ethan in the roaming position serves a very weird function here. He provides utility, but he's building tank, but he still has the flexible Oasis. It's just a bit of a weird mix that is a bit of a jack of all trades, but really master of none.
But I mean, at the end of the day, his big payoff is going to be his ult, right? As long as Minotaur is able to get a really good ult off, it helps knocking people up to enable Castle to technically stay in longer. And if that's not enough, you get a stimulus pack in the Magic Tongue coming in from Marl into the Spatial Migration. He can get out, and Castle can just keep fighting.
I think in the end, LILGUN may have overdunked the draft a little bit for themselves, right? Because the thing is, the Ethan Roam Faramis is something I brought up during the drafting phase. It's something that teams actually respect against it. And when I watched the way that he played it in his qualifying finals, it's some of the most aggressive Faramis I've ever seen. Yet here, it felt like very defensive. In fact, even a little bit scared. So perhaps LILGUN were just not prepared for what Umbrella Squad was going to throw at them. We also have to note, they themselves banned out the Diggy. And Umbrella Squad has so much crowd control.
Well, to be fair, the crowd control came in later on. But for LILGUN as well, if you look at the items being built by Bebex there, he has a Shroud, I think, so he has some magical defense, but for the most part, he didn't really have any solution to deal with the Gusion. And I think if you look at how Troublemaker was doing, I mean, look at the rich guy and the carry. This man is just monopolizing everything. With how he was playing, I feel like some respect was warranted there, or Rose Gold maybe, or on Athena even, right? On the gold lane, knowing that you're one of the main damage tools for your team, I think you gotta really respect that damage potential.
I think he was just looking at Ethan, it's like, you got me, right? And Ethan looked back at him, maybe.
Maybe.
It's so quick.
Yeah, I mean, after like 6 kills are given over to Troublemaker, it's hard to say that I got your back because there's too many things to worry about. You don't want to get locked down and CC'd and then end up dying to someone like Castle on this Arla who has high base damages naturally.